Hello everyone, welcome to the fourth tutorial in our Minecraft series, and today we are going to work on advanced caves, a method I made up on my own. Now this is how it looks in my game, and I've started over my game. So this is how it looks in my game. First we have to dig down to the bottom. Uh, Caves, basically the way I made caves, we I've just made, well, based on articles I read up with snakes or something like that. So I've just made random lines going across and then thicken the lines and then smoothen them out, which is basically all you have to do for caves. You can set the length of each cave and how rare it is for a cave to show up, and you can also set like the sizes and how deep down you want to go before finding a cave, and how deep you should go before there will no longer be caves. So we'll need the cave distance, the depth as in how low we have to go, and the height, so that caves don't generally go deeper into solid air under the world and you won't be able to go into it. So I basically make it so that you have to go half the world height, which is 200. Half of that is 100, so our y value must at least be around 100. And the way the lines go down, they randomly jump up at times and lower at times, so that the caves are not just straight lines, they go up and come back down. So these are how caves look in the game. You can see they're random, and sometimes they get big like this. This is when they're joined onto other caves. Let's dig below. So these are how the caves look in the game, and this is run with 6 different for loops, but those are all about smoothing it out. Oh, this is the end of the world, so let's go back this way. Okay, but we would need at least 3 for loops to make the cave system work, because since this is down under the earth, we can't just carve everything as air. So we'll need some blocks as the cave object holders, and then we can set everything into caves. Or after we've made all the caves, we can turn it into air. So these are how the caves look. There'll be chests and different things added soon, but that's what we're going to make in our game. This I'm using here is a version that, well, of Ulixava's game, because my game, well, it got lost, so we have to make it over. So since we make the cave holders, we'll say public static int in our tile. We call it cave top, since this will be what randomly spawns the caves, and it doesn't need to be on our tile set, so just set that as -1 -1. And public static int cave block, also -1 -1. Some people may say this is an inefficient way to do it, but this works well and there's no lag or anything like that. So we can go into level, and before we do that, in Ulixava's tutorials, the world height and world width always needed to be the same number. That's because he messed up his variables in the for loop, and he said block the y will be block.length and the x will be block 0.length. And the x is actually supposed to be accessing the world width, but putting the 0 here will make it accessible height instead, and that just messes it up. So I've changed it already. Go throughout your for loops. Wherever there's x block 0 that length, just take out the 0 and put the 0 by the y instead. So go through all the different for loops, make sure the x is with 0 but without 0, and the y has the 0 in it. I've changed that everywhere. And now let's begin. We need some variables, as I said, so we'll need public static int, and we'll need the cave distance. That would be 40. That's how long the cave will be, and it's based on your world width as well, so you may want to increase this world width to about 100 and the world height to about 100, or you can make this 150. It doesn't matter the sizes anymore because we fixed that. So cave distance is equal to 40, or whatever you'd like it to be. That the cave distance will also help with how rare caves are made. The shorter the cave distance, the more caves there will be. So cave depth will be world height divided by 2, and cave height will be equal to like 40. So that's 40 blocks away from 100. So we just make this 20. So caves will only spawn between the coordinates 50, which is half of the world height, and world height minus 20, which is 80. We'll make that below. And now that we have these coordinates, we can go down into our generate level, and right above where we place our solid air, we'll start to place out we just place in random cave lines. So we'll say for, or we make a for loop. So just copy this since it's the easier way. But actually, how we want it, we'll put the y before the x, so that it loops through the x with each y coordinate, because that's what makes it random. And we'll say for y is equal to cave depth, y is less than block 0 dot length minus cave height y plus plus, and the x will be that. And now inside here we say if instead of saying new random, we can go up here and just say public random, call it random, equal to new random, and back down here say if random dot next int, and it will be the cave distance times 15, or the bigger the number you multiply the cave distance by, the rarer or the less frequent caves will spawn. So I just say 15 because that's a good number. And now we have to make this in a try and catch. So try catch with exception e, and we'll just make the block x and y, as in that random block. That ID will be tile.cave top, and that spawns random cave blocks everywhere. And now we'll need to carve out the lines, so we'll make an integer j it will be equal to the current y position in the for loop. And we make another for loop called for int I is equal to wherever our x is currently, I is more than, well, less than our x plus the cave distance, I plus plus. And inside here we make 3 different integers. We just call one m, which is equal to random dot next int, and it will be between 44 plus 55. Copy this 2 times. We call this integer n, and we call this integer o. And n will be a random number between 100, and o will be a random number between 25. This will be random numbers for when we want to make the cave go higher or lower. So it's not just one straight cave all the time. So we say if n is more than m, if that random n number out of 100 is more than the maximum number, which is 44 plus 55 is 99. So if that number is more than m above here, then we want j to plus plus. So the y of the cave will increase. Else we want, so else if it's less than, else if n is less than o, if it's less than this random number here, then we want j to minus minus, and the caves to go higher, and then it's plus plus, the cave will go lower. And underneath that we'll say block I j dot id is equal to tile dot cave block. So let's just see how this will work. Since we set it to -1, it may look like A, but the program knows it's not A, it's actually a cave block. These horrible brackets. Okay, so let's look for it. I think we passed it, maybe. Yeah, we passed it. So let's keep looking around. Oh, I don't think. Oh no, never mind. Well, let's continue. Since it's probably, oh yeah, I don't think it will actually show up. Okay, let's continue. So this time we'll set the cave depth. So we'll call a for loop for int y is equal to 0. Y is more than block 0. Remember, y is 0. Dot length and y plus plus. Then inside here we make the x for loop. So x, and take out this. Now this is where we want to check if block xy.id is equal to tile.cave block. Then we call another if random, and it will be a next int between 100. I will check if that's less than 5. We'll make another for loop. So for int I is equal to 0, I is less than random dot next int 3 plus 3. Since our character is 2 blocks and we want the cave's minimum size to be 3 blocks wide or high, I plus plus. And inside here we make another try and catch with the exception E. And we just simply say if block x y minus 1 minus I dot id is not equal to tile dot cave block, then block x y minus I dot id equal to tile dot cave block. So it will check and see if that amount in depth is not equal to cave block, then set it to the cave block. And underneath this if dot random we say for int I is equal to 0, I is less than random dot next int 1. Since the depth it will either be 1 or 0, and that's how deep we want it to increase or go lower. I just found it better this way. So copy this, try and catch again, and this time you say if block x y plus I that id is not equal to cave block, then set it to cave block. Block x y plus 1 is equal to cave block. That should be like placed in the caves. Now the last thing we want to do is carve it, which is basically just setting everything to air. So just make sure it's above placing the solid air, and copy this. Let's put the X after the Y, although it should not really matter, but I think I've just done it that way, so let's just keep it that way. Yeah, let's keep it that way. Here we'll say if block xy dot id is equal to tile dot cave block, or block xy dot id is equal to tile dot cave top, then block xy dot id is equal to tile dot air. So let's go up here, keep height, keep depth, generate level. Okay, so let's save this. Let's test it. Okay, so there's a cave down here, and you can see uh, these are things that you may have to fix. But yeah, that's kinda it for this tutorial. If this were to look better, that would use up 3 more for loops, and well, that's what people say are inefficient. So I'll leave that out. Uh, this is the end of this tutorial. Maybe if you guys want, I'll add in the other 3 for loops in the description, or the entire code for the caves. But that will be it for this episode, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.